Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you are over the record and Mary Murphy don't exist, why would you mistreat me? My daughter is 10, and I'm letting you know to investigate the record. It's fraud. She do not exist. She cannot take my child custody rights if no one knows who she is. I reported to you. What is your position there?
I'm the supervisor of the family clerks.
If you are a supervisor of the family clerk and I have communicated to you that Mary Murphy doesn't exist and it's fraud, taking a 10-year-old away from the mom, why are you rude and cover for it? I have a right to demand. I have a right to demand. I have a right to demand someone investigate that record.
Miss Clark, we are not going to sit on the phone
You
for
will
20
not
minutes.
disregard me, ma'am, cover for these felonies unless you want the charge along with it. I have a right to figure out why someone is forcing me to have fraud in the file. You have no right to try to take control.
Let me respond.
Well, you have to let me ask the question before you respond. If I'm reporting to you that there is fraud with your court, Mary Murphy doesn't exist. I need solutions and not cover-ups and criminals. These are really big time crimes. So I need to know, where do I go and we'll find someone that is not corrupt and will investigate this fraudulent document? Mary Murphy does not exist. Why won't anyone investigate this judge that supposedly took my custody rights away that does not exist? These are big time felonies. You disregard and you're rude and you talk to me and minimize the fact that someone has took my 10-year-old from me from criminal activity. And you're a 255th District Court civil supervisor district clerk. I need to know where to go to see my daughter and not be exposed to criminals everywhere I go. Where do I go where someone is going to be a part of enforcing laws and not criminal activity? How can I find someone that will investigate this fraudulent document that was filed in your court?
May I respond?
Yes, I want to know here at the court. I want to know let me make sure you respond to what I answer because you guys do not listen.
District Clerk's office. This is Connie. May I help you?
Yes, Connie. Almost a year ago, I reported to you to research the Mary Murphy because she doesn't exist and she's keeping me from my child. It's a fraudulent document filed that where Mary Murphy took my custody rights away and she's not a real judge. It's a crime. It's a felony. I thought. So if it is a felony or a crime, why isn't someone investigating it? My daughter's not in a safe environment and that has been going on for over a year.
Okay, if it's a felony, then it'll need to be reported to the DA's office.
Well, the problem of it is why are you guys covering for it? If I'm reporting it to you, what interest do you have in keeping my child away from me with fraudulent documents and covering for it and your supervisors?
Okay. Just a moment. If there's a case that you need to file...
Okay, don't say if there's a case. Let me tell you what's going on. There is a fraudulent document I have reported to you almost over a year ago. Why are you guys covering for the fraudulent document for dear life, which is criminal? Taking my 10-year-old away from me from a judge that don't exist. Can you tell me why so many parties have an interest in hindering a child custody agreement, which is a criminal offense? I've never seen a court take whatever I think it has to be bribes that keep me away from my daughter out of criminal activity. It is very obvious that's a fraudulent document. Everyone keeps covering for it, panicking, and keeping for it. I don't know what interest a court would have in keeping me away from my 10-year-old child. It's sick. Why is it so hard for you just to investigate who this judge is? Why are you guys covering for it for dear life? Normally, you can tell the clerk, people of supervisors, that this document may be a mistake, is fraud, is not accurate, and they don't panic and disregard it. What is the problem with someone investigating this? That is their job, not to blow it off and disregard and send me to other people and I'm at the court. It is not that hard to figure out if that document is counterfeit or real. Why is so many staff covering for it?
Okay, ma'am, as I stated earlier, you're more than welcome to contact the DA's office, and they can assist you as
Well,
well.
okay, so let me make sure I understand. You have an interest in covering for the fraudulent, because I want people to get the charges, if they'll ever get it, that they deserve. So I'm just trying to implement you and have you get the charge that you deserve for hindering the child custody agreement. What's your last name?
I'm Ms. Jones with the district clerk's office.
Okay, Connie Jones, and what's your position?
Operations
Okay,
manager.
so you were refusing to do it. I thought ethically you had to report criminal activity with the courts, and you're
Okay,
disregarding
no.
that, and you're not going to do it. You're not doing what
If
you're supposed to
you-
do ethically. Let me make sure I understand. I just want people to get the charges they deserve. So you're saying
whatever.
let me make sure I understand. I can't ask the question if you're interrupting it. You are refusing to report the unethical behavior. That's what I thought. Okay, I asked you. I don't know why when you heard those sirens you put me on hold. I said, are you refusing? I want to make sure that you're refusing to report any unethical activity with the courts. You're refusing to do that.
As I explained to you earlier.
No, I just asked a question now. I just asked a question now because there's ethics in your position. If you know that there's unethical activity or criminal activity, you have a responsibility to report it. So I want to hear out your mouth if you're refusing to report the criminal activity.
What I'm explaining to you, ma'am.
I just asked a question, ma'am. You can answer it yes or no. Are you refusing to report the unethical behavior in criminal activity? Are you refusing to do so?